the natural world, a wave of beauty from a distance. But a closer look brings out certain details. A long-nosed vine snake, a more common species for this snake hunter, but less common around his home. Perhaps looking for a meal. It doesn't seem to notice us. And with a glance like that, I take back what I've said earlier. She definitely knows our whereabouts. Time to back away slowly. But not a moment too soon. She makes her move. But not a defensive one. It is one of curiosity. This may be the very first time she has come close and personal with something she has no understanding of. Let us leave her be.
Where some serpents, like the vine snake, prefer to move slowly in motion with a thicket of branches and leaves, others don't mind breaking that camouflage. Golden tree snakes make hasty retreats up trees all the time. This female is about to show us her true abilities. Those belly scales of hers help grip along the trunk as she constricts her way up.
Five or more meters up the tree, and she stares back, glancing one last time at the creature observing her. Something is on her mind. With incredible eyesight, she ignores the shoe signals from her admirer and continues her gaze, tilting her head as if she was a twig in a breeze. Oh my fuck, it doesn't get any cooler than that. What a send-off! Until next time, my friends, see you in the next video.
No, I'm just kidding.
That was only during the day. As nighttime rolls over, it brings a few oddities with it.
Oh God, stop it! That is not what I meant at all. Ew, what the hell? Glad I put a stop to that. Who knows what could have happened?
Back to the oddities I've mentioned earlier. The creature emerges out from the darkness. Ridley Scott's newest film, The Moving Mustache of Goo. This walking mustache, constructed of a caramel glue stick who plays the game Snake his entire life. The hammerhead planarian, one that is composed of goop, shares its goop to everyone around it. Deep down, this lonely goop mustache just wants some loving too. Every rainy day, these worms go on a hunt for earthworms, snails, and even other planaria. A pair of mating millipedes. Well, this is getting a bit awkward. Roll the next scene.
What you guys see here is a bipalium taking down an earthworm by sticking itself on with extra goop secretions. Once the prey is pinned down, it starts spewing out digestive enzymes that liquefy the prey. Look away if squeamish. The worm's guts come pouring out, and you get the picture. Let's move on. Actually, you know what? Let's get a close-up of that. Yeah, that's good. Soak that all in. Oh, and there seems to be a trapjaw ant dying too. These immortal worms traverse the lands blind, covering every inch in goop. They're sensitive to sunlight, so are often never seen during the day, creeping about only in damp areas at night, following scent trails to get to their next meal. Most bipaliums are harmless. 2 species have been found to carry tetrodotoxins, a potent neurotoxin used as a defense or for taking down larger meals.
Another night oddity has already crept its way in. A Vinegaroon.
Named after the aesthetic vinegar-like substance they can spray out their rear end to deter predators. Not more than a bad smell for us, but for small invertebrates it can be quite fatal. At the top of his head are a tiny pair of eyes, barely helpful in his environment. He taps about with those forelimbs. They act as a sensory organ and help them navigate through the dark. The whip at the end acts as another sensory organ. However, this one has lost his.
This lone male is out looking for a meal. They snag their prey and then rip it to shreds with their powerful pincers. Yet, such dangerous blades are used during their most intimate moments. This male is courting the future mother of his offspring. He has to put on a display. He grabs her forelimbs as delicate as he can, and then he waltzes, moving her to the right position, where his spermatophore awaits. The night is young, and there is still plenty of life. If we were to back up to that bipalium crawling over those roots and take a better look.
Ah, a pipe snake, poking out from a chasm in the roots. Let's come back in a few minutes and see if he's ready to come out. Sure enough, it decided it was safe to emerge. This elusive species come equipped with a few defensive tactics, all of it in a form of mimicry. The spectacular banding on the sides and belly are bright white to mimic the more deadly crates. Notice how the tail is short and stout, bright orange. They use that to confuse the predator for the head end. When in defense mode, they will also puff up in a coil, flatten themselves up to look bigger, tucking the head away under the coils and raising that flattened tail up. It makes for a convincing disguise. Naturally fossorial, it is not uncommon to find them in puddles or streams, as they can live a semi-aquatic life, feeding on frogs, fish, rodents, and even other snakes. The iridescent shine on them reminds me of a similar snake, sunbeam snakes, one of the more primitive reptiles. With similar habits and same diet as the pipe snake, they also have small eyes, as they evolved to live a fossorial lifestyle, moving about at night through the leaf litter. You're most likely to see sunbeams among the leaves than in the water. One of the big myths in Thailand is that these animals are deemed deadly venomous due to their shimmer. This is false, as they lack any venom glands and have never caused a single fatality. They get a more harsh treatment when they run into people, as they will most likely be killed out of fear. The prettier you look, the more dangerous you are. That seems to be the mentality. The pipe snakes get the same reputation for sharing the same iridescence. Hopefully one day more people choose to understand the fear rather than kill it out of ignorance. Because for such a feared little snake, they can be just the most joyful to watch and interact with, due to their docile nature. Certain encounters with snakes, may it be in the jungles or in my own neighborhood, can be quite a tragic sight. This white-lipped pit viper was in the worst shape I've ever seen. She was heading toward this broken pot, malnourished and thirsty. She finally got to drink up a mouthful. She didn't really care that we were near her. She didn't have much energy to begin with either. Once full, she started heading upward. Realizing there's a camera in front of her, looking her dead in the eye, she comes a bit closer to investigate. Seeing her in that moment was absolutely crazy. A venomous adult pit viper, as helpless as an infant. And she takes in a big gulp of air for the best shot ever. What a wonderful encounter that turned out to be. Little did I know that wouldn't be the end of it. About a week later, I had a call out, and a lady said she saw 3 kittens toying with the snake, pulling it out of the bushes. Me and my friend rushed out to see how she was. Luckily, she was okay. A few scales have been clawed out, but no fatal damage, I assume, because a touch from a feral cat can be pretty lethal to small animals. As I mentioned this, an iguana of mine is still in recovery from a feral cat gnawing at her tail, resulting in a severe amputation almost at the base of the tail. In my best hopes, I'd love to see her make a comeback from an ever-worsening situation. I decided to take her in and treat her wounds. Left her 2 pinkies in her tub overnight, and to my surprise, she took them both. A few days rolled over and her wounds looked better. She was even strong enough to take in a subadult mouse. In about a week, I'll release her back into the wild, depending on her situation. I have a strong feeling she's going to pull a miraculous recovery. So looks like I'll be updating you guys in the next video. Thank you everybody so much for watching, and see you in the next one. She's been through absolute hell in her life, and I think Scar will be quite a soothing nickname.